Hello, everyone, and welcome back to She Plays the Podcast. I'm so excited to be joined today by Representative Anna Eskamani from the 47th District, Orange County, Orlando, Florida, if you will. Thank you so much for joining the podcast.
Oh, thank you, Ashley. It's an honor to be here.
I'm just so grateful for your time, for you making the time. I know things are crazy busy, and I'm excited, though, to hear maybe what was interesting or exciting about coming on just to chat about sports. So I'd love for you to tell just a little bit about who you are and maybe, like your non-professional athletic career,
I know. I love that. I love the disclaimer of non-professional because I think that is very true for me. But so for folks who don't know, I grew up in Orlando. I went to Orange County Public Schools, K through 12, and really grew up with humble beginnings. My family are immigrants who came to this country from Iran and settled in Orange County. My parents worked really, really hard their entire lives to make a better future for their kids. Unfortunately, my mom actually passed away when I was about 13 years old. So a lot of what I do every day is also just grounded in wanting to make sure that every kid has an equal chance to succeed, that every parent can rest knowing that there's safety nets and that there's going to be support for them no matter what they go through, and trying to make that vision a reality for our state. And so when it comes to my athletic experience, if you will, definitely always played two sports when I was a kid. To be honest, Ashley, I was always really nervous. Whenever I did a team sport where like all the attention is on you, like things like kickball and softball. Oh my gosh. I know it sounds funny because obviously today I'm like always in the front and center of things. Literally, like I hated being the one that had to kick the ball because I just felt there was so much pressure on me. But when I got to college at the University of Central Florida, I actually did intramural sports with my college Democrats chapter, and we played soccer for about 3 years, and we were called the Angry Donkeys, and so I think we only scored like once, and it was me who got us a goal. But it was still a lot of fun. Yeah, but it was still a lot of fun. And, I just think those experiences are so important for, folks of any age, but especially young people to build trust with your teammates and take a risk. Cause like I said, I used to be so nervous, to be that person on the spotlight, but once you keep doing it, like you let go of that fear. Right. And the other thing I'll add too is I definitely, running is always one of my favorite activities. Honestly, during the pandemic, it's been really hard to just exercise in general because I've been so busy. But running is one of those, just one of those like activities of Zen for me, if you will.
Yeah, I was going to ask what kind of stuff you do if athletics play a role in like just turning your brain off even, or just like getting what you do has got to be so stressful, but you're passionate about it, but just like the day to day, like seeing the reality of what we're living in, my goodness. So, I was curious. So running is usually a part of that.
I love to run. I also like any person, I love watching a game, and I love going to games, right? Pre-pandemic, of course, but being a UCF night, I am too, but there's just something so, I don't know what it is, the spirit of going to a football game, going to a soccer game, and just being surrounded by folks, complete strangers, but you're all aligned, on this common goal. The energy is just contagious. And so I've always loved being a spectator too. And sometimes when I'm working really late, if there is a football game on or a hockey game on even, like I'll turn it on just to watch, and or at least have in the background so I don't feel so alone sometimes, right? Because it's nice just to have like the energy, from
Sorry, it kind of broke up there a little bit, but you were talking about like just like having that energy
in your space that kind of helps you stay focused too. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I think that that was something that was so hard when sports stopped, you know, in March and April and May. You know, we didn't have anything going live. I think that was so hard because even if it is on in the background, or it is like that community aspect of I've got to go and like see my game day family or whatever, you know, like I feel like we were missing that so much. And that's part of why I just wanted to start this podcast, is because
Right.
I've missed getting to talk about sports because they haven't been
Oh,
happening
I love
until
that.
June, July. So yeah.
I love that.
Have you been to many Orlando City, Orlando Pride games?
Not recently, honestly, because I was in Tallahassee
Oh, that's
before
right.
the right before the pandemic too, and so it's definitely it's challenging for me just to have the time to go to games in general.
Yeah.
But I always try to watch them when I can, and of course, I just love seeing all my constituents like covered in purple.
Yeah. It is. It's so neat to have so much respect for a team like the women's team, you know, not being so much an afterthought as, you know, it tends to be
Absolutely.
globally, even when people talk about women's sports, like we're finally getting to the place where hopefully it's not an afterthought. It's like, no, who cares if we have a men's team? Let's get a women's team, you know, and we're not here to put down men, but you know, like that it would become like an equal opportunity in people's minds.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And it should be treated the same, right? The same marketing dollars, the same promotional opportunities. It actually reminds me, you know, Orange County recently announced that they were providing COVID-19 testing to all the football players, right, in our high schools. And there was this big a backlash because that seemed to only benefit male participants in athletics. And so, you know, Orange County changed the opportunity, and then said they're going to also provide the COVID testing to the cheer team, and you know, other parts of the football experience, if you will, opening up to folks with different gender backgrounds. And so, you know, even like at such a basic level, right, of equity access to something like a test, we were negating the role that other folks play in the athletic department. And it's 2020, right? So there's still a long way to go. And even just thinking about sexual assault in athletics, and sexual assault that women reporters have experienced in different capacities, right? So much work to be done, and having those courageous conversations and really empowering women, whether they are, you know, on the field or reporting on the field, like making sure that women are well represented and have the same access that anyone else has.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and what a unique experience. I didn't even know about that happening in Orange County, but yeah, thinking about across the country, what that's looking like. And even in colleges, you know, like the football programs are going to get the tests, they're going to get the charter flights,
Right.
everything. And then like, even, I mean, let's be real, even Orlando City, like the women's team is going to have to fly coach next week.
Right.
Or maybe this week. So, you know, there is still a ways to go. And yeah, just curious kind of, I mean, I know that there's been this amazing movement in politics of more women being involved and winning races. What do you still hope to see change? I mean, lady in the White House, I'm sure, but you know, like what do you still hope to see grow in your profession?
Well, women are still severely underrepresented in government. And so, yes, to your point, we made huge strides in 2018, electing more women than ever. But we know that we don't have parity yet. So it's not a 50-50 yet. And then even in regards to electing women, there's also a lack of women of color. There's a lack in LGBTQ plus voices. There's a lack in voices of different ages. So I feel like there still is a lot of work to do in just building building a system of government that reflects those who we serve. And particularly for Florida, it is still a boys' club, Ashley. It is still a boys' club. And we are constantly up against a challenging and real, like in the moment, and also trying to challenge at a system scale. And so it's my like mentees asked me, like, do you think being a woman in politics gives you an advantage, or do you think it presents challenges? And I think it's a little bit of both, because the one thing I will say is, yes, there are double standards. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, the system is really built to, for men, that you have to like fight to have a voice in the place and fight to be taken seriously. At the same time, there's greater opportunity for bipartisanship among women. I feel that women of Republican identity or no party affiliation or Democrats, like we can work together to find common solutions more often than not. If there were more women elected, no matter the political ideology, I have no doubt we would see less attacks on things like abortion and more support of just prenatal, postnatal care and childcare. Like I do feel that, issues that women experience would be more would not just be ignored or attacked, but actually could be center issues like sexual assault, right? Which every person has experienced. She just get knocked aside every day because it's not the priority of leadership, especially. So I think that there's definitely a lot of strengths that we carry, as women in political spaces, just like women do in athletics.
Oh, sorry. There was a weird lag, I guess. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Yeah, but I mean,
and I can
the power and the justice, the movements that women carry in both aspects has been huge, especially with the WNBA this season, and like just seeing them lead the nation in calling for social justice reform and justice for Breonna Taylor. I mean, it's been amazing. And so, yeah, to see like powerful, confident women in all sorts of avenues. So that's awesome. I'm curious, your family coming from Iran, I know like cricket is pretty big in Iran, right? That's something that over here we do not really pay attention
to.
So
the biggest sport in Iran is definitely soccer and wrestling.
Oh, wrestling.
Soccer, yeah. Soccer and wrestling. And so actually I was in Iran with my family during one of the World Cups. I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was in the early 2000s. I think it was maybe 2006. And I have to tell you that the streets were quiet. Like everybody was watching soccer.
That's awesome.
Really cool. And so Iranian soccer team has been a political voice. And they have, under very difficult circumstances, have tried to demonstrate solidarity with different freedom movements in Iran, wearing wristbands and doing whatever symbolic activism they can. And there's really incredible storytelling and documentaries about women seeking access to watch soccer games in Iran, because it's historically been banned. And so women would actually disguise themselves as men to get into soccer games. And the reasons why women have been excluded are trash. Like basically it's like, well, women can't be around vulgarity and things like that. And so, the Iranian women have challenged so many of these stereotypes. There have been some incredible Iranian women athletes as well who have to perform wearing, Islamic dress. And so their hair is covered, which, obviously can bring very unique challenges in any type of athletics, right? Because you need to wear the clothes that will benefit you the most. But when you're following a dress code, you're limited.
Right.
And, but they have just really been so inspirational. And most recently, there's been international call for human rights, because the government of Iran just executed a very popular Iranian wrestler who was protesting. Yeah. His name was Naveed. And so that's been another international call where Iranian Americans, activists are calling on different athletic divisions to ban Iran and to challenge Iran, because they executed this very popular 27-year-old athlete, which speaks to just the power of sports and politics, right? When they come together. And I've been getting to know Stan Van Gundy really well these
Yeah.
past few weeks. And so I think everyone in Orlando is probably following his Twitter now. He is such a great person. And he's another example of just, he told me he joined Twitter for the politics.
Wow.
Like he tweets about basketball a little bit, but he really is on Twitter because he's trying to use his platform to share his values. And we need more of that. We really, really do, especially since those who are superstars in the sports industry, they built so much trust with their fans, right? And I just think it's really hard you can't fake that, you know, and having their voices in political spaces is quite profound.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think, and I do follow him. I love, how involved he is. And, I think it's just like the biggest farce to say like, shut up and dribble. Like, no, these people are talented. They have a brain, they have a heart, they have a soul that they want to, do good with, like make a difference with. They have every right to say what they want to say and to speak to that fan base that connects with them. So yeah.
Totally. And gosh, it is also really offensive, this notion of, quote, shut up and dribble, because you're basically also telling this athlete that we only want you for entertainment.
Right.
Humanizing, right? If you're going to pay a ticket to watch someone play, you should also respect them when they have an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's that alone really frustrates me, this notion that they're just here for your gaze, your entertainment. Like, no, I don't think so.
I think often about like, they're not gladiators coming in and like performing, just for your win.
They have lives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have families that they care about. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and they've experienced, different dynamics, whether it's racial injustice or economic struggle. I mean, especially so many of our players who come, they might have come to college based on a scholarship that could have been their only way to college, right? And these are stories that they don't leave once you get on the field or get on the court, right? They stay with you.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. It's going to be interesting with the NCAA changing. I'm excited to see what that does for families and a lot of these athletes who are banking on a pro career and some of them never get it. And, how that can maybe help. So I do want to honor your time. So I just got a couple rapid fire questions if that's okay. And then I'll let you go.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Favorite sports movie?
Oh my God. Friday Night Lights.
Oh, love it. And TV show? Did you watch a TV show?
Not as much as I probably would love to, but these days I have like no time to watch TV.
No, you're right. But Tammy Taylor, love her. Okay. Favorite Gatorade flavor?
Oh, I'm always with the orange.
Okay. Classic. Favorite athlete?
Classic. Oh my gosh. I can't pick a favorite, but I would say the entire Orlando Pride team. They're just a bunch of queens.
They are.
Like, I'm just so proud of them all the time.
Yeah, they are amazing. Talking about people making a difference. That is
totally.
If you could have tickets for life for any sport event that happens around the world, anytime, you get tickets every time it happens, what event are you getting tickets for?
Oh my gosh. This is going to be super lame, but I'm such a hometown girl. I would say UCF Knights. And if I could follow them everywhere, capacity, sure. I definitely would.
Every national championship, everything. You get tickets for everything they're playing.
Every single one.
Okay. I love it. Okay, if you could be awesome at any sport you've never played before, what sport would you want to be awesome at?
Ooh, I would probably say basketball. Okay. I just feel like I don't have the height or the endurance for it, but I would love to be good at basketball because it's really fun when you get to play it, and B, it's good cardio. So I would love to be better at it.
Very good cardio. Yeah. I know. I really want us to have a team back in Orlando. We had the Orlando Miracle back in the day, and I'm like really pushing WNBA.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I also do love. I love watching rollerblading, which I know, or roller skating, which is not like your mainstream sport, but there's a lot of cool teams that that do like competitive skating. I just love that too.
That's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I don't know that I've seen, roller hockey you see every now and then, but yeah, very cool.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I so appreciate you taking the time and, just a little breather to chat sports and, just history of sports. I think it's so impactful, like you were saying, like maybe not in the time you realized it was building confidence in you, but maybe sports were a big part of why you can stand in front of crowds these days and
Totally.
spread a message. So thanks for all that you do, truly. And thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you, Ashley, for having me. This was awesome. And I hope everyone continues to support their local teams and, and don't forget the women's teams because they're often, like you said, overlooked and they deserve the same love and attention as any other.
Amen to that. Yeah. Go Pride from your Orlando.